Welcome to the Watching Books podcast. This is the podcast where we talk books that have only been adapted into screen and stage productions. I'm Victoria,
I'm Laura.
and we're a mother-daughter duo. I'm the mom.
You look great for your age.
Thanks.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Guinness.
Oh, okay.
It's lost all the head. What are you drinking?
Water.
I have my water too. I have my Perrier and just my regular still water. But I'm drinking it out of a beer glass that says Kansas. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. So I have a t-shirt and it says Kansas. It's not that bad. And when we went to Maine, we were at Acadia National Park. And when we were there, I wore that shirt there. And I got the most comments on that shirt than I ever have with any shirt, anything I've ever worn. So many people, they would read it and go, really? Yeah, really. Or one person said, that's one of the 5 states I've never been to. I said, well, you need to go. You need to visit.
It's
Kansas.
definitely near the bottom of the list. When you start listing out which states you have to visit, no one is putting Kansas near the top.
Yes. And why are we talking about Kansas?
Well, I happen to live there. And I blame you for getting me here, and I blame my husband for making me stay. So Kansas, no, it's not that bad. I'm choosing to raise my children here. We could have moved several times, but now we have a house. We just moved to, our new house, and we have a house that I love in an area that I love. And so I just told my husband, as long as we still get to travel and I get to see things other than Kansas from time to time, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm very content here. It's not that bad.
And I like
Where
to
are
move.
you right now, Mom? How come you're not sitting right here with me?
I know.
In my
I'm
other
in
matching
Tennessee.
armchair.
I know. I'm in Tennessee.
Tennessee. Why is that?
'Cause we're in the Army. Woohoo! And
Tell Dad he should get out sooner than he's thinking.
Your space looks so great, and mine's very temporary.
you.
I have a
Yeah,
tiny
exactly.
book, my little tiny bookcase, temporary over there. But yeah, I'm very temporary because we're getting ready to move.
Mm-hmm. That's the way of the Army. So you'll have a whole new setup eventually.
I would like one
But
that
yeah,
looks
mine's more permanent because I'm not going anywhere. I just got here and I'm staying.
Mhm.
So Ray, my husband, and I took days working on all of this. It's the only part in our new house that's complete.
I love it.
So thank you. It's my woman cave. It's all mine and it's my happy space. So let me see. Before we dive into the book that we're watching this week, what are you reading right now that's not necessarily screen or stage related? Golly, what are you reading? Mother.
I always take the
And
dust jackets off.
I have a surprise for you. I'm really excited. I have a
yay.
little
Okay.
present.
What am I reading? Well, so I'm a member of 3 different book clubs, and I've already read all 3 of them for this month, and I just finished, though, None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell.
Okay, I read another one by her.
This was very good. I couldn't put it down. I've never read anything by her before. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I highly recommend that book. It was very, very good. And I'm also reading a biography on Bonhoeffer, pastor, martyr, prophet, spy, and he was murdered by the Nazis. I mean, right before the war ended. He was murdered in Dachau. Yes.
I could have sworn that when Ray and I were at the movies, I don't remember which movie, there was a trailer for a Bonhoeffer movie.
Yes. So
Have you
your
seen
dad
it?
and I went to see it. Yes, we went to the movies and saw it.
It looked really good.
It was good. They did a very good
Okay.
job. And so here it is. There's no
so
play.
it's been adapted to a film, you say?
Yes, there's no play.
We just need a Bonhoeffer play. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm reading that. And I'm also reading All the Light We Cannot See. And this is by Anthony Doerr. So
How is it so
there
far?
you go. What?
How is it so far?
I've read more of Bonhoeffer because I had all of my book club books to read. And so I put a pause on this. You can see I have not gotten far. So far, it's very good.
Yeah, well,
What?
you're going to see that I haven't gotten very far in any of my books. Considering the fact that I'm probably still going to be reading all of these at our next recording, maybe I'll just pick one at a time.
Okay.
But right now I'm reading Alice by Christina Henry. It is so my daughter's name is Alice, your gorgeous granddaughter. So of course I was attracted to this because she's named for the Lewis Carroll character from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And Alice Through the Looking Glass because that's technically my favorite. But this is a horror adaptation of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So it just
You
takes
like
all the
it?
same characters and creates them in this completely different dystopian world. And I'm still trying to figure out what's real and what's not. It's very gory. You wouldn't like it, but I am really enjoying it so far. So Alice
I'll
and a
caveat
character
that.
named
Go ahead.
with what? Well,
The
Alice
gory
and
stuff.
Hatcher, a character named Hatcher. They were in the side by side cells in an insane asylum in this different dystopian world, and
Hmm.
they've just broken out. So that's where I
Oh
am in the
gosh.
story.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I'm reading
Yeah, I'll
that and I'm
have
reading several others. The one I'm reading for work is Our Polyvagal World by Stephen W. Porges and Seth Porges. It is very good. If anyone suffers from anxiety and doesn't understand why their brain resorts to that, I highly recommend this because it explains it in a very easy to understand way. I'm a therapist.
awesome. So we're both reading multiple books.
Yeah, what were you gonna what was your caveat for reading gore?
Gore. So I used to read it all the time. I read Stephen King. I mean, Stephen King and Dean Koontz were who I read all through high school and into college. I mean, I read them almost exclusively. Well, besides classics, I've always read classics, but I loved those books.
I've only read 2 Stephen King novels and 1 Stephen King short story.
Wow.
I've read 11/22/63 and It.
I have
And
read. You haven't read Misery?
no, but speaking of misery,
So good.
you know those $5 bins at Walmart for the DVDs?
Yes.
I got Misery.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So, because I have seen the movie and it's incredible. I
They
love
should
it.
do that on Broadway, have they?
Probably. Well, actually, I have no idea, but they should. It should be adapted to the
Yeah,
stage.
it
It would be
should.
really good on stage.
I
Small
mean, it's one
cast,
room.
very Driving
Yeah.
Miss Daisy horror. And what are you watching? Are you watching anything fun right now?
I just got Miss Congeniality and Miss Congeniality 2 from the
What a
library.
throwback.
Yeah, so I watched the first one yesterday, and today I watched the second one. I'd never seen the second one, and so
I've
it
never seen
was
the
it was
second
kind of
one.
fun.
Did it hold up?
It did. I mean, I
I
Regina
thought you were
King.
saying no, it didn't.
Oh, no, it did. It would. The first one is just so classic. You didn't expect her at all, and she was very different in this one. She accepted herself as a pageant contestant, basically. And so it's like, what's going on? But Regina King is in it, and
I
she
love
was
Regina King.
just phenomenal opposite Sandra Bullock. I felt like they had great chemistry and worked really well together.
Uh,
William Shatner was in it again, and that cute little girl that won Miss United States, she was in it again. And she is in You've Got Mail. Wait, You've Got Mail? Yes, You've Got Mail. She's in that one.
oh,
She
I totally
works
forgot
with
William Shatner was in Miss Congeniality. But he's the MC, isn't he? Okay.
yes. So
So
it was good. It was fun to watch again.
that's great. What a throwback. I need to see the second one. I haven't seen it. So, my
Yeah.
life was consumed for, a month with the Karen Reed trial. I was fully invested and obsessed with the Karen Reed trial.
Yes.
And this was the second trial of Karen Reed. Well, that ended and she won. She was found
Mhm.
not guilty, which she was found guilty of DUI and that was it. That's a win, a major win. So, and that's as it should be. But then I went down the rabbit hole of watching all the follow-up interviews where her attorneys were interviewing with some of my favorite law tubers. And I'm watching more law stuff, but I'm not as invested really in anything else that's going on right now. So when Ray and I have any time to watch anything, we're watching Taskmaster.
Oh, yeah.
So in between Bluey episodes with our kids, that's what we're watching.
Well, it's just me. I can watch whatever I want.
That's nice. And you can read 3 of your book club books in 1 month.
Yeah, in less than a month, because what today's yeah, yeah. So,
I wish I had that kind of
yes.
time.
And I have checked out a book from the library too. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it's The Paris Librarian, maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
Well, Paris fits in with our theme this week.
it
What book are
does.
we watching?
We are watching Cyrano de Bergerac.
Cyrano de Bergerac. This might be considered cheating because it's not technically a work of literature, as in it's not a novel, it's not prose. It's a play originally.
But if we skipped all plays, we would miss out on so much. We would miss out on Shakespeare, and we would miss out on this and other wonderful, wonderful works.
Oscar Wilde.
Oscar Wilde. Yeah, Thornton Wilder. Yeah, there are a lot of them.
Before we dive in, we have to mention that there will be spoilers. We are going to spoil every adaptation of Cyrano de Bergerac. We're going to talk about it as if anyone who's listening has already read or seen it, but we are also aware that you may not have read the play, you might not have seen any of the films, you may not have been to see a version of it on the stage. We recognize that, and we are going to try to summarize the story, but we're not really focused on that so much as we are just discussing it like fans, because that's what we are. We're not deep divers. We aren't doing a whole bunch of research into the history of each production. We are just talking like fans who really want to compare different adaptations of different books slash plays slash films slash television productions.
Mm.
So Cyrano is my favorite play.
It's your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. And this is Cyrano de Bergerac by Edmond Rostand, and it was originally in French. So I guess it depends on the translation you read. I have no idea who did the translation that I typically read, but I absolutely love this play. I absolutely love it. What are your thoughts on the play? And maybe
Why?
we
Why
should
do you?
summarize what it's about for anyone who
Why?
isn't familiar with it.
So why is it your favorite play?
Why is it my favorite? Cyrano is such a perfectly imperfect hero,
Mhm.
protagonist. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is the main character is a man named Cyrano de Bergerac in time periods. When in France is this set? Do we know? Do you know? Oh,
Let me
hey.
look.
I could pull mine up too. Mine's harder to reach.
Let's see. Go ahead, talk about it. I'll see if there's a setting in here.
Well, it was a long, long time ago in France. And Cyrano is he's a soldier, he's a poet, he's a man among men. He's honestly a perfect protagonist except for his like glaring insecurity. And his insecurity is around one feature that he has, and that's his nose. He has a very, very long nose, and it's comedic, but it's also tragic, the play is. And I think it balances comedy and tragedy so well as romance. It has everything. It has everything.
Okay, so this is set in Paris in 1640 and also in 1655. So
I was gonna
1600s
say the
is the setting.
1500s, so I would have been off by, 100 years.
We're talking a majorly large nose, unlike anything anyone's ever seen. So this we saw this in a theater. So this is the playbill from the show that we went to see, and obviously he has a very large nose. And this is the actor that we saw on stage.
Mhm.
Anyway, we'll get
Yeah.
back. We will get to that. So
Yeah,
1600.
so I would have been off by a century. But Cyrano, he's perfect. He's perfectly imperfect. So he has every quality that someone would look for in a hero except for his insecurity. And he thinks that despite all his incredible qualities, which are that he's beloved by most, I won't say all, but most, he's strong. He's an excellent swordsman. He's a great soldier. He's a poet. He's excellent with his words. He can charm anybody. He has friends and loyal followers. But he doesn't believe he's capable of the love he wants. He doesn't believe he's deserving of the love he wants because of his nose.
An
Because
outward
of his
appearance.
appearance.
So
And
obviously,
through that, he completely discounts all of his other incredible qualities because of his nose, his appearance.
So obviously, even back then, people had body dysmorphia. They had
Of
issues
course.
with their appearance
Yeah.
and
And
insecurities.
I think Cyrano recognizes that he could be capable of love, but it wouldn't be the love that he wants. And he
Yeah.
doesn't think he's deserving of Roxane de Robin because she is the most beautiful, apparently.
So in the play, of course, Roxanne is his cousin.
Mhm.
And We are introduced to her, and she is this stunning lady. And then Cyrano is part of the military, and this other young man comes along named Christian,
Christian.
and he was gorgeous. So he had the looks, and that's
Oh,
about
we'll
all he
talk
had.
about the looks of Christian in later adaptations.
That's about all that he had. He had the looks. He had the brawn, but he had no brain.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy is, like, he does have a brain. We see he has a brain. He's able to put two and two together eventually, but he is useless when it comes to women.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All he can think
Cannot talk to
about
women. Yep.
is seduction and outward appearance. He can't
Mhm.
go any deeper than that.
Nothing about her mind or who she is as a human being. It's all about her looks and his looks.
And that's the problem is Roxanne has both. She's gorgeous, but she's also brilliant. And it's to her detriment because
Uh,
she ultimately lets herself down, and she admits this towards the end because she admits, "Oh, I was so focused on outward appearance that I let my true love slip by."
we haven't mentioned this yet. We will be spoiling
Spoilers for everything.
spoilers, yeah. And even just a little bit of background too for us. We are both in theater. I've been in theater since I was 5. And Victoria, you were 6? 6 or
7?
7? Okay,
I always
yeah.
thought I was 7 when I did Sound of Music.
Sound of okay, so 7, and then I was in The King and I when I was 5, so we have been in theater basically our entire lives, and so it's just a lot of experience between us on the stage, and then our love of books and our love of movies. It felt like all of the adaptations, except for the modern day one, were excellent. They really stuck with the script for the
Yeah.
most part, you know?
Wow,
Really good.
okay. So, I think all of the adaptations start at the theater, which is where the play starts. The play starts at the well, except for Roxanne. Roxanne is like an
Yeah.
enigma.
Y Right. The modern day
No, it's
one, we
an
won't.
anomaly. Anyway, so the play opens at the theater. There are people milling around waiting to see the show. I think it's meant to be is it meant to be a comedy? I don't
I
know,
think
but
so.
there's an actor who Montfleury who's going to come out and give an oration, and people are really looking forward to this. But as this actor, he is giving his oration, you hear a voice booming from the audience, just tearing this guy, but he's tearing him apart. He's heckling him and threatening him, honestly, because he hates his oration so much. He hates how he interprets the texts that he's acting out. And finally it ends with Cyrano comes out onto the stage himself. He's the one who's been heckling this actor, and he challenges him. Well, the actor runs in fear. So there's the Comte de Guiche's, I don't know, guy,
Mhm.
right-hand man, someone who's with the Comte de Guiche is there, and I can't remember his name, the character's name, but he challenges Cyrano, and Cyrano sword fights him there on the stage. And in one of my favorite parts of the show, which is right here at the very beginning, we see Cyrano using humor to cut this person down to size while also using his sword to cut him down to size. He ultimately ends up
Mhm.
killing this other person, both in word and in deed. He actually kills him.
Right.
And what's funny is he's being mocked for the size of his nose, which is on the nose as far as insults go. And he
Mhm.
basically tells this person, you can do better than that. And he proves to him why. And he comes up with every insult you could think of for how to
For
insult
his
his nose
nose.
and do it wittingly
Yes.
and cleverly. And then he kills him. So from there, we meet Roxanne. Roxanne has witnessed all of this. Roxanne is his cousin. We learned that. She's being wooed by the Comte de Guiche. He's trying to court her. The Comte de Guiche is just a rich butt face who thinks he can earn Roxanne's love through his money and his status, etc. She's not interested, but she has to entertain him. And she does love Cyrano, but as a friend, as a childhood friend. They grew up
Mhm.
together. What she has done since being at the theater is see a man from across the way, very Romeo and Juliet, and all of a sudden they are in love. They have never known a love like it. You've never seen the likes of it before. It is the love to end all loves, etc. So this is Christian, and he is a new cadet in Cyrano's regiment, something like that. I might be getting the terminology
Whatever the
wrong,
name
but
in the
Christian comes
military
along.
with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roxanne asked
So he also is
Cyrano
convinced that
to
he's in
take
love with
care of him.
Roxanne. Yes. But in that instance, and this is important, she sends her nurse to request to meet with Cyrano privately. And Cyrano believes that she is going to declare her love for him, and he's over the moon. He can't believe it. He thinks he could fight 100 men in one night because he is so excited and elated and empowered just by the hope of thinking she could love him. Unfortunately, when they meet, she lets him know that she's actually in love with Christian. So she has no idea of Cyrano's
Mhm.
feelings for her. And he quashes his thoughts in order to, well, I think protect himself, but also to let her know he'll take care of Christian, nothing will happen to him, etc. And he does meet Christian and they form a friendship, but they also recognize, Christian recognizes he's terrible with words, which is what Roxanne wants. And Cyrano recognizes he's not handsome, but he has words. And so they decide to form together the quote unquote perfect man by being beauty and brawn and brains and all of it all wrapped up in one. Cyrano will be the voice and Christian will be the mouthpiece, basically. And so by that way, they court Roxanne through letters, through, trying to woo her
A
under her
balcony
balcony in the
scene.
moonlight. Yes, again, very Romeo and Juliet. And she is fully, fully wooed by Christian. She loves him. And so when he goes to her and he goes into her bedchamber, the Comte de Guiche becomes jealous. And which I don't think he knows he's there. He doesn't, but he's on his way and he has sent a
Not
priest
yet.
ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, he has sent a priest ahead of himself with a letter to Roxanne. All very weird.
Because he
Roxanne reads the
didn't want
letter
to wait
realizing that the Comte de yeah?
because he didn't want to wait anymore. He wanted to marry her.
Right. So he sent the not so smart priest to marry them. Well, Roxanne, being a bit smarter, she makes up her own letter and actually has the priest marry her. And Christian, right there, Cyrano is heartbroken, but he goes out to delay the Comte de Guiche so that the wedding can take place, and
Mhm.
Cyrano and Roxanne and Christian can be married. So the Comte de Guiche walks in and realizes the woman he was trying to marry just married someone else. So what does he do? He makes sure Christian ends up at the front lines of the battle that's currently being fought on the front. So that way nobody wins. That's his thinking. So then we fast forward in time. Cyrano and Christian are both at the front because they're in the same regiment and everyone's starving. It's cold winter. It's horrible. Nothing's going well. I don't even know who they're fighting. Do I really care? No, I don't. Are they fighting Spain?
I
Do I
don't
have that
know.
wrong? I don't
I
know.
have no
I have no idea
idea.
who they're fighting. They're in a war. It's revealed that Cyrano has been going out every single day to post a letter to Roxanne. He is risking his life every time he tries to sneak past enemy lines to mail the letters. Christian realizes this and is like, okay, you totally love her. And Cyrano's like, no. And Christian's like, but you do. And Cyrano has written one more letter that he hasn't been able to send, and Christian takes that from him.
And he's been writing like 3 letters a day to her
Yeah, it's a lot.
from
He's written a
Christian.
lot. From Christian, so it's not even as Cyrano. It's all as
From
Christian, but
Christian.
Christian didn't even
Mhm.
know that Cyrano was writing these letters to Roxanne.
Mm-mm.
Well, Roxanne shows up and she shows up with a whole bunch of food, which is awesome. So she feeds the men and she gets to see Christian, who she thinks is her love, who is not really her love. He's just pretty. But what she lets him know right then and there, he could be as hideous as the beast from Beauty and the Beast and she would still love him.
They're married now
Yeah.
because she got the priest to marry in the thing. So they're actually husband and wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is that she is married to someone who she thinks she knows,
Yeah.
and she doesn't know him at all. And shame on Cyrano and Christian for lying to her, but Cyrano feels it's his only way to express himself truly to her because he is so afraid she'll reject him for his
And she
nose.
asked, but she's always asking, talk to me, speak words of love to me. And she wants flowers and all this stuff through the spoken word. And Christian couldn't offer that to her. But the one thing that Cyrano could promise was that he'll write to you. When we're in the
That's
front lines, he will write to you. And he
that's one of my
promised her
favorite
that.
lines.
He might not be
Yes.
able to promise that he can keep him alive and keep him safe, but he will write to you.
Yes.
And so he made sure she was getting all this love and affection from these words from
Mhm.
Christian.
Mhm. I absolutely love that line. It's just so romantic, it's cheesy, but in a great way. I love it. 'Cause she's as Cyrano and Christian are heading to the front, Roxanne is begging Cyrano, "Keep him safe," and he's saying, "Well, I'll
Mhm.
try, I can't promise it." And she's saying, "Make sure he eats." He's like, "I can't promise it." "Make sure he writes to me." "That I can promise." And he does.
Yep.
He makes sure, but Christian has no idea that he's writing letters to Roxanne. So Roxanne tells him there at the front in no uncertain terms, "I love you for your soul, and I don't care if you were hideous. I would love you anyway." Well, Christian is heartbroken because he knows that it's not his soul she's in love with. So he goes to confront Cyrano and let him know she needs to choose, and Cyrano should give her the option to choose between the two of them. And they both hope
Mhm.
that she chooses either of them. Well, while Cyrano is attempting to reveal himself to Roxanne and let her know that he is the one who's been writing her letters, Christian goes and gets himself killed. So, of course, holding the last letter that Cyrano had written to Roxanne. So, of course, Roxanne is thinking, this is his last letter he wrote to me. And it's covered in his blood. And he dies, and Cyrano makes sure that the secret dies with Christian. He is never going to reveal it to Roxanne. He's never going to let her know. In fact, he tells her, oh no, sorry, he tells Christian before he dies, "I talked to
Mhm.
Roxanne, and it's you she loves. She chooses
Yep.
you." And then Christian
Mhm.
dies. And it's another reason why I love Cyrano. I just love him. It's a very stupid but selfless act. It's so stupid, but it's selfless. So, fast forward, what, 10 years?
10 or
The play skips
15.
ahead like what?
10 or 15. Let me look.
It's a long time. Well,
It
we
is.
skip at least a decade in time, and
Mhm.
Roxanne is living in a nunnery
Mhm.
or an abbey, and she wears black every day because to mourn her husband, Christian.
Fif
She's never It's been 15 years. It's been a long time. So she's wearing black every day for 15 years, mourning Christian's death. She wears his last letter around her neck, and she lives with the nuns. And Cyrano visits her every week. I think
Mhm.
every week. Cyrano visits her every week and gives her the news of the town. He is penniless. He is poor. He is starving, but he doesn't let her know. He never talks about his troubles. He just wants to be with her, to
Yeah.
see her, to have a relationship with her, whether it's platonic or not. He just wants to be in her life. And she's come to rely on his visits. Well, it's revealed that there are plenty of people who don't like what articles he's been submitting to the local paper, I guess is what it is. It's causing, like, I think a political stir, and people plot to try to take his life, and they attempt it. And he is injured, he's wounded, he's been hit in the head, but he's still, and we haven't talked about his lovely friend, the baker Ragueneau.
Oh, love
But
him.
Ragueneau and, of all people, the Comte de Guiche, who now has a newfound respect for Cyrano after seeing how he fought at the front, he has become a friend to Cyrano of all things. He and Ragueneau get Cyrano. They meet him at the abbey. They're trying to convince him to go get medical help, but he refuses. They find him at the abbey where he is meeting with Roxanne to give her the news of the week and continue things on as usual. He doesn't tell her that he's been injured. He doesn't let her into any of it. And ultimately, he's showing that he's not going to make it. He's about to die. And they're talking about Christian again, and she takes out his last letter and shows it to Cyrano. Cyrano starts reading it, and Roxanne is not
Because
looking at him, but she's hearing the way he's
she had always promised that maybe one day he could read it, maybe. And so he asked, could I read the letter? Yes, yes. And then she gives
Mhm.
that letter
Yep.
to him.
Yes, and he's reading it, and she's listening to the way he's reading it. She's not watching him, and she's just thinking about how he's reading it, the passion in his words, and she looks at him and she realizes he's not reading the letter at all, he's reciting it. But as far as she knows, he's never seen this letter before, and she realizes it hits her all at once. Christian never wrote the letters, it was always Cyrano. But of course, now Cyrano is dying, so that's great.
Mhm.
And he's surrounded by, I know I'm trying not to make myself cry right now. He's surrounded by his friends and Roxanne, who recognizes it was you I always loved, and I'm just now realizing this. This isn't fair. And he dies with panache, I should say, because that's what he always wanted.
Great story. it is not my favorite, but
Mm,
we
I
can get
love it.
into that. But okay, so let's start then with the 1950 movie version starring Jose Carrera. And now I've never seen
Ferrer.
him in anything. Yeah, Carrera. I've never seen him in anything before. That was
I
it.
was so convinced. I heard his voice and I was like, "What is this speaking voice? It's beautiful." He has this gorgeous,
Mhm.
deep voice. I loved it. And I was
So,
convinced
you
he
know,
had to
that's
be the
one thing
viceroy
that
in The Pirate with Judy Garland and Gene Kelly.
oh, he's not though. Yeah. I don't think he is though, is he?
No, it's not. I looked it up. It's not
Mm.
him. But I bought that voice was so distinct. I was like,
So
"Is that the voice viceroy from The Pirate?"
that is one thing I have in my notes. All of the Cyranos have excellent speaking voices. All of them.
They have to. Cyrano has so many
They have
freaking lines.
wonderful,
He
wonderful
has monologue after
speaking
monologue after
voices.
monologue.
So Jose Ferrer was married to Rosemary Clooney. Now
What? For how long?
yes, I want to say it was like his third wife. They have 5 children together.
What?
Mhm.
I had no
So
idea.
they did divorce though, and so for those out there who may not know, Rosemary Clooney is famous for White Christmas, her most famous movie. But yeah, I thought
And
that
being
was
George
interesting.
Clooney's aunt.
Yes, George Clooney's aunt. Absolutely. Absolutely. There
Um,
was one character I loved in this. The minute he came on the stage, the minute this actor came onto the stage or in the movie, I knew exactly who it was. I didn't know his name. This is a character actor who I think a lot of people we've seen him before, but we don't know his name. His name is Percy Hilton.
hold on. Is it Piglet?
No,
Oh,
okay. And
he's
I
not
actually put that in
Piglet.
my
He
notes.
sounds like Piglet.
I always confused him with John Fielder, who was the original voice of Piglet. But you are right. That
Okay,
is
but
who this man
is he the
sounds like.
train worker? Is he the
Train
conductor
conductor.
in
Yes.
White Christmas?
White Christmas.
Yes. Okay. So I
He
did
is
recognize
all
him, but he's not Piglet.
yes. No, to this guy, he is a character actor and he has worked with some of the greats. He was in White Christmas. So Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye right there. He was in Bus Stop with Marilyn Monroe and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh.
The Music Man, 1962, the original, the train conductor on that. And he was in
Oh,
Jailhouse Rock with Elvis Presley. And he was in
are you
How
serious?
to Marry a Millionaire.
Who
He's
was
one
he in that?
one of the people coming in to buy her furniture.
Oh my word. I love that movie.
Very small
Oh,
roles, but and I didn't even know his name. I had to look it up. Percy Helton. But every single time I recognize him and I know his voice.
Percy
His
Hilton.
voice, you can just hear that little voice.
Yeah,
And
I thought it was Piglet.
he was only 4'11".
See? He totally could have been.
He's just a little man.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought he sounded like whoever
No,
the voice actor is who did Piglet originally. He
that
sounds
is
just like him.
John Fielder played
Okay, you did the
Piglet.
work. See, I didn't. I was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's Piglet."
Nope, John Fielder. So, yeah, I was just like, "Oh, this is
So,
great. I have to
we
look it
both
up."
noted him when he came out, and he only
Oh,
had that
yes.
tiny all he did was announce Montfleury, the actor. That's all he did.
And he
He
was
worked
saying,
at the
"No,
theater.
please." Yeah, he worked at the theater. He came on it a few times. Yeah, he was in a
Uh,
few scenes.
that's all I
But yeah,
remember. But I
yeah.
also was watching this while doing dishes and laundry and taking my kids places, and
I watched that version today. So,
yeah, I
yes,
watched
there
the
you go.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was
So,
my first time seeing it, so I had never
me
seen it.
too.
I didn't recognize any of the actors except for him.
Yes, me too.
So, what did you think of Jose Ferrer? Like, Ferrer? Jose Ferrer?
Ferrer.
We've never
Had
seen him in
no
anything else. What did you
never
think
seen
of
him
him
in
as
anything.
Cyrano? Because he won the Academy
He
Award for
was
this role.
He did, he was wonderful, and you would never know he is Puerto Rican. There was
No?
no accent. He sounded
Mm-mm.
wonderful, beautiful speaking voice.
Mm.
I just really appreciated his performance. And,
Yeah.
Roxanne, I appreciated her performance. She made Roxanne real. She wasn't over the top. She was almost understated, but she made her real because that's
I'm
hard
glad
to
you
do
liked her because I thought she was boring.
well, okay, I find the role of Roxanne kinda boring, so, uh,
Yes. You know what?
I think
Roxanne is kind of a boring character.
Roxanne's
She
very
is. I
demanding.
totally agree.
She's
Hmm?
demanding. She's
Yeah.
saying, "Speak to me of
She
love. What words? Give me the words." No, that's
she has
not
very
well, that's not
high,
good.
unrealistic expectations.
Yes!
But think of young women. They do. Young women do typically have unrealistic expectations of love, especially if they've been
Mhm.
raised to believe, don't settle, you're worth, the best of men when they don't even actually try to work on themselves and
Mm.
be a good partner. They just expect, oh, yeah, I'm here, so I'm worth it.
Yeah.
And that's her
Yeah.
embodied for sure.
What'd you think of Christian?
Yeah, he was pretty and he did a good job. I There were some of the camera angles that the director, I don't know who the director was. I should look it up because I should give credit. Let me see.
The iconic scene, for those who may not have seen this, it is the balcony scene. And there have been parodies made from this balcony scene with someone whispering the words to say to the other person who says it to to the woman looking out over a balcony. And
Mhm.
we saw someone do this in the Brady Bunch, an episode of the Brady Bunch.
You stole my bit.
Tell me, go
I
for
had
it.
a whole section for Cyrano de Brady.
Go for it.
No, I want to go back to what we were talking about. I was just looking up the
Okay.
director.
Yes, go for it, the director.
So Michael Gordon chose some shots of Cyrano and Christian where they're either one of them is in profile or and is looking at the camera straight on, or they're just very near to each other and they're not necessarily looking at each other, but they're having a conversation discussing what they're going to do about Roxanne. And I thought the camera angle choice for those types of scenes were so fascinating because you're seeing two men who are both so self-centered in getting what they want that they're not even really talking to each other. They're just speaking aloud how this plan could work in their favor, each of their favors. And nobody is thinking about the truth and that maybe Roxanne should just be told what's true. Maybe she should
Yes.
just be allowed to get to know both men and they should both accept that they could be rejected. Like rejection
And
is a
maybe
possibility.
she should have been allowed to make her own choice.
Exactly, that's just it. She should have been
Mhm.
allowed to make her own choice, but I liked that camera shot because it's like, "Oh my gosh," it really set up that they're not even thinking about each other, and they're not even thinking about Roxanne. They are both so focused on their own thing, they're not even looking at each other. They're just talking, and they both just happen to be thinking the same thing, which is, "We can work together to create the quote unquote perfect man and fool Roxanne into thinking she knows who she's in love with." And I really liked that camera choice. So good job, Michael Gordon. But Christian,
And
yeah, he was pretty. He acted well. He was
he
fine.
did.
That's
And
all
the
you really need
balcony
as
scene.
Christian.
You brought up the balcony scene when we kind of talked about a little of this yesterday after you had seen it, and how we saw it as it should have been. We didn't hear
Yes.
Cyrano. And he's whispering so softly to Christian. We only heard Christian speaking the words. And so we heard what Roxanne did. That was done so well. No other
Mhm.
version has done it that way.
Yeah.
None.
You see Cyrano gesturing, but you can't even hear what he's saying. You only hear what Christian is saying, which is what Roxanne would be hearing. And the
Mhm.
reason that actually stood out to me is because I haven't seen another adaptation do it like that. Now,
No.
on stage, that's difficult to do. So it makes sense to have the echo of both Cyrano and Christian speaking the lines when they're trying to woo Roxanne. But in other film adaptations, you can full on hear in the loudest of stage whispers Cyrano giving Christian the words to say and then Christian repeating them. And
Mhm.
it's always driven me crazy, but I just sort of accept it. But seeing this version, the 1950 version of all things, it came first. They should have gotten their playbook from them. It was done the way it should have been, with
Yeah.
Cyrano gesturing and barely being able to be heard to the audience member who's viewing the film. It should
Mhm.
only be for Christian to hear. That's the whole point. And I think it
It
dumbs
was
the audience down to assume that they don't realize that those are Cyrano's words.
oh, yeah, definitely. So I enjoyed that version a lot. I thought it
I
was
did too.
very
I was
well done.
pleasantly surprised.
Cool.
I thought it was going to be campy, and it wasn't. It was
Now
beautiful.
I did find it interesting the way they had Cyrano attacked. It was the horse in the carriage.
Yes. He's
It
attacked
almost
differently in every version.
well, in others, at least that something's falling on his head in all of them, I think. But in this one, it was that horse and carriage. I was like, "Whoa,
True. I
that
think
was
he would have had a
different."
few more injuries. Yeah. He
Yes.
got he got fully run over by a horse and carriage, but he came away with one small head wound.
Yes. Well, it killed him, so it wasn't too small. Yes.
Right, but there are
So
no other abrasions that we can see.
no.
There's nothing else. He's not limping.
So that was
Anyway, I thought
interesting.
I kind of laughed.
It just made me
I don't
go,
think that was
"What?" So, but
and to
I
me
thought
too, it
all
was
in all,
also like
it was good.
watching the physics of that shot. You see the horse and carriage coming at him, and you see his face, and you see like the arms go up, and then he like dives toward the carriage. Anyway, I was like, I don't think that's how that works, but I will overlook it. It was a beautiful film. I loved it. I loved it.
Mhm.
I wish I had seen it earlier.
Let's talk about the next one.
The next one is actually Roxanne from 1987.
Really? So this is a take on Cyrano de Bergerac, but they called it Roxanne.
And it's set in
And
1987.
with Steve Martin, Daryl Hannah. Oh, and who's Christian?
I don't remember. I never remember the Christians, Mom, except in
Mm-mm.
the 2021 version, which we'll get to. He's beautiful. He's the best Christian.
So I introduced you to Roxanne when you were in high school because I grew up watching it and I saw it in the 80s, probably in the theater. So tell me what you thought about seeing it.
Yeah, so this is one of those where you introduced it to me in high school. You introduced me to tons of movies, as your father did with you. So you were just carrying on the
Mhm.
family tradition. But this is one of those where very early on into the movie, I could tell that you hadn't seen it in a long time. Because the language, the innuendo, the raunch was not typically the kind of movie you would have just introduced me to. And like every family
No.
has their own rules about what's okay for, their kids and like you
Yeah.
have to know your kids, etc. But this is for us, this was not one of those movies where you would have been like, we're just going to sit down and enjoy this together. No. So coming away
No.
from that, like we watched it and I don't remember enjoying any of it.
I didn't enjoy it like I thought I would. It was the one thing I got out of it. Steve Martin, his Cyrano was so happy. He was a very happy man. And everyone loved him. Now, he and Roxanne were not cousins in this, and they were
Thank the
not
Lord.
right. And they didn't know each other. They met each other.
Which
And
it's an adorable meet cute. I really like their meet cute.
very, very good, and he's a firefighter,
Mhm.
and so Christian comes and joins the team. He is a
Isn't he the
firefighter
chief?
as well. Yeah, Steve Martin's the
Yeah.
chief, yes, so
I liked
Cyrano
I
is the
like that because it's like, how do you modernize Cyrano
his name was
in a
not Cyrano,
believable
it was
way?
Charlie. His name is
Right.
Charlie in that movie,
But
yes.
but the question is how do you modernize it? And
Yes,
I think that was an effective way of doing that. And they would call him
right,
CD.
right,
Oh,
yes,
and we have Roxanne and Chris.
yes, Chris.
Yeah, so I revisited this one to see if maybe I liked it a little bit more. I didn't.
No, I didn't either, and yes, they met, it was cute, but
Well,
yeah.
as honestly, Charlie aside, the main character, Steve Martin's character aside, the whole movie was so misogynistic.
Yeah. Chris only wanted to
And
get her in bed. That's all he
well,
wanted.
I mean, that is Christian.
That's
I think that's
Christian.
absolutely true to the character of Christian, regardless of
Yes.
what setting you put him in.
And he's
But
dumb as a yes.
he's so dumb. They made
He's
him
very
so
dumb.
dumb.
Yes.
And he's not that attractive. Oh my gosh. Sorry. But like if you're gonna make someone that dumb and you have to make me believe that Daryl Hannah is gonna fall for him for having nothing to offer but his looks, we have to do better than that. Like he needs to look like Idris Elba.
Well, back in the day, he
something.
was cute. He was very cute back then.
Okay, cute doesn't earn Daryl Hannah.
So it
But
was
I like Daryl Hannah.
interesting.
I like her Roxanne. I think
She's
Charlie is
smart.
really likable. Yeah.
Oh, he really is likable. And in the end, we see Christian go off with a bartender,
Yeah.
and he
I
leaves.
think
He
this is
leaves.
the version where if you want Cyrano to get the girl, you can enjoy
This is
Roxanne.
it. Yeah, yeah. Because
Cyrano
he does get
gets
her
the
in the end.
girl in Roxanne. Yes, and they have a really cute, very funny fight scene
Yes, they
where
do.
she's trying to kick him out and he says, "I'm already out, you go in." That that cracked me up. That was very funny.
Yeah. And Shelley Duvall is in
Um,
this. She Shelley
that's
Duvall
right,
is
Shelley
one
Duvall. I
of
totally forgot she was in it.
Charlie's friends. So Shelley Duvall is in she's Olive Oil in Popeye, and she's also in The Shining. That's
Mom,
where
The
most people
Shining.
know her from.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what she's
those
known for.
yeah, and Olive Oil. So those 2 films, those are
Yep.
the ones that people know her for.
And I
Yeah.
remember seeing her in that one, is it Annie Hall? Is that what it's called?
Annie Hall is, yes. I've never watched it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she's in that.
Okay.
But yeah, she was Charlie's friend. She was very cute. So there were
Yes.
likable characters, great acting. The acting was great. I did not love the script.
No, I don't either.
And
Well, yay.
honestly, maybe I'm just a fuddy-duddy, but the antics with all the really dumb firefighters, it just wasn't my thing.
Okay, so I think this is where we are so much alike. I don't like dumb
I
in
like
movies.
some dumb.
I don't like a lot of dumb. Like, now I just like funny, okay, but when they're just dumb, it was like every firefighter except Charlie was stupid in that.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to fight fires. They didn't. But when it counted and there was a fire, they were able to do it. Charlie had trained them very well.
And Charlie had to follow his nose. Now, there was one thing in this where I'm
Yes.
like, I wish I had seen another adaptation of Cyrano do something like this. They have Steve Martin trying to drink with his enormous prosthetic nose. They have him
Out of
trying
a
to drink from the
wine glass.
tiniest of wine glass.
Now that was funny.
But it
That
was
was
also
funny.
sad because he's like, "Do you have a straw?" It was so sad, but so funny. I loved that. Honestly, setting something like that in the 80s made I think it makes you feel even more for Charlie because he is such a lovable character, and it's believable that Roxanne would choose him. It made sense that
Yeah.
she would go, "I don't care about your nose. You're an awesome
Mhm.
person." That made more sense for a more modern day setting.
Yes,
If you took
definitely.
Cyrano as he is in the original and put him today, it does not make sense that Roxanne would not choose him. It just doesn't make sense, regardless of his
All
nose.
right, are we ready to move on to the next one?
So the next one would
Ooh.
be the 1990 French film Cyrano de Bergerac with Gérard Depardieu and Anne Brochet. And I love this movie with a passion.
We watched it together. It does
Mhm.
have subtitles, but it is very worth it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to understand most of it if we watched it
No.
without subtitles.
No,
I might have been a
because
French minor, but that's all I was. I don't know
they're
French that
they're
well.
speaking so fast. Yes, it was
But
very good.
so good. It's so good.
It
It's
was.
so good. Like Gerard and the controversy around him aside, he earned every award that he got for this film.
Huh.
It's so good. The costumes, the sets, the music, everything. I mean, this is I think exactly how Edmond Rostand would have wanted to have seen it if he had known that it would ever be adapted to a film.
Right.
It's oh my gosh, it's perfect. Oh my gosh, and the scene, one of my favorite scenes in the play, and we haven't talked about this, is the scene where Roxanne is alone with Comte de Guiche.
Mm.
De Guiche is he's really trying to put the pressure on Roxanne to speed things along with him and
Right.
let him know how long he's going to have to wait, right? But he's also he's alone with her and he's thinking about how he's gonna I can't remember like the whole context of the scene, but There's a great scene where he's thinking about what to do with the regiment that has Cyrano and Charlie, that has Cyrano and Christian, and he's really annoyed with Cyrano because Cyrano killed one of his buddies. Makes
Mhm.
sense. We would be slightly annoyed if someone killed our friend. So he's just kind of complaining to Roxanne. Well, Roxanne, thinking on her feet, she does not want Cyrano to be punished because he's thinking, okay, I want to send him to the front lines. So I'm going to send his regiment to the front lines because I'm sick of Cyrano. I want him dead. He killed my friend. Valid. However, Roxanne is thinking, oh no, that means Christian is going to be sent to the front lines. I don't know how much Roxanne is really thinking about Cyrano, honestly, but she is thinking about Christian, and she does not want to see him sent to the front. I love this scene because this shows how witty she is, how cunning she is a better word.
Right?
And she convinces De Guiche to keep the regiment at home because there is nothing Cyrano hates more than not getting to show off his
Yeah,
prowess on the battlefield.
that's right.
He's like, "You're right, I'll emasculate him and humiliate him because he'll be worthless sitting around at home. He won't be able to fight, and that's all he wants to do." So he keeps them at home. She thinks she's saved Christian from going to the front. And then, of course, De Guiche gets his revenge by sending him to the front after he realizes she's married Christian. But anyway, that scene between the two of them, it's fun to read, and it is so much fun to watch. And in the 1990 version, I can't understand most of what these two actors are saying. I'm having to read subtitles, but watching them and their acting choices, it's my favorite version of this scene that I've seen. I
That's
love it.
neat.
It's funny, it's clever, it's really fun to watch. And her choices as Roxanne are perfect. His choices as De Guiche are perfect. It's just I love it. I love this scene.
Hmm, that's
You can
good.
see you can see them forming their thoughts. You can see them
Mhm.
both thinking through how things might play out if they get what they want, and it's just perfect. You can see her hating him, but also having to win him over and flirt with
Mhm.
him, and they both do such a great job. I absolutely love it, and you don't need to know what they're saying to understand ultimately what's going on in the scene.
Right. That's a
I
very
love
good
it.
point. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was very good. I didn't mind reading the subtitles.
Mm.
And, all of them have incredible swordplay, and the fighting is so, so good. You don't see that as much in Roxanne. He does fight off a couple guys, and he's holding either a tennis racket or badminton racket, and so he's fighting them with that, but, all in all, the sword fighting is so good in these films. It's very, very good. I think it would be entertaining
Mhm.
for any men to watch. Very, very good.
Yeah, and this has the correct timing. I really think it's, like, the truest to the source material, this version.
Yeah, and it's in
Although, I mean,
French.
1950 did well, but I honestly think the 1990 version was the truest to the source material.
Yeah, and when he's not he has something thrown the logs fall on his head.
Yes, there's, like,
Yes,
lumber that falls on his
yes.
head, which leads to his death. Um, is that really all we wanna say about this one? It's a perfect
Yeah,
film and we're good? Yeah, I'm good
yeah,
with that.
that's
It's
good.
perfect. Okay, so our final version, our final film adaptation is the 2021 film Cyrano. This one is notable because the major difference with this one compared to any other version is that Cyrano does not have a large nose. In fact, he has a pretty standard sized nose.
Standard.
Instead, he is small in stature because he's played by the incredible Peter Dinklage, who most
Peter
people know
Dinklage!
from Game of Thrones or Elf. There is no in between. Peter Dinklage plays Cyrano, and instead of it being a large nose, everything in the show is adapted to him being a little person. And then Haley Bennett is Roxanne. What are your thoughts, Mom?
When I first saw and it's a musical.
As Peter Dinklage would say, it's a play with songs. That's how he characterizes it, and I agree with him.
So, it was, when I first saw that it was coming out, I loved the premise. I thought that was fantastic, and wasn't the screenplay written by his wife, Peter
It
Dinklage's
was,
wife?
yeah, the play was written by
Yes.
his wife, and here's the thing, this did not start out as a film, this started out on stage. It was a play first
Oh.
that Peter starred in, and
Well,
his
I
wife
was
adapted
thrilled.
it.
When I first saw it was coming out, I was like, I have to see this." this is going to be incredible. And then to find out there was music too. I wanted it to be better than it was. The acting was
Mm.
phenomenal. It was so good. It just was missing something. And it's hard to explain. I love a good musical. And the music, I can't remember it. Normally you go home at least humming something. I remember that the music, it was beautiful music, but you don't go home humming these tunes that they sing. But I thought Peter Dinklage did a wonderful job. I was disappointed he wasn't nominated for an Academy Award for that part because I
He
thought
should have
he did
been. He
he did
was
that well.
incredible. He was
He was
incredible.
he was incredible. He really
He
was.
wasn't nominated? He wasn't even nominated? Oh, he should have been. That's
I was
insane.
very surprised. Okay, I say I don't think he was because I was very disappointed that he was not. So,
See, I
but I
thought
will
he
look.
was.
Let me look and we can come back to that and I'll change that.
He Peter's a wonderful Cyrano, and honestly, it translates very well to having him be a little person. What I
Yes,
have to say that and honestly, it has all the elements of the original play that you would want. It's got the whole storyline, it's got everything that you would want to have,
he was
except
not.
one notable scene. It does not have now we haven't talked about this, but it doesn't have the scene where Christian first meets Cyrano because there's something specific that happens in that meeting. So in the original play, when Christian is first introduced to the regiment, all the other
Yep.
soldiers are planning to haze him basically. They're going to
Yes.
pretty much torture him because he's new. Well, Cyrano has promised Roxanne he's not going to let that happen. So they have all warned Christian, don't mention Cyrano's nose. Christian has no idea what this is about. Well, then he sees Cyrano. He doesn't know who Cyrano is. He doesn't know he's related to his dearest love that he witnessed for 5 seconds one time. All he knows is that Cyrano has a big nose. And so Cyrano is trying to tell his story of how he killed 100 men. It was actually 8. But he killed 100 men in one night. It was 8. Anyway. Every time Cyrano tries to get anywhere in his story, Christian quite cleverly is throwing in phrases about noses, whether they're cliches or it would make sense to put the word nose in there. He's interrupting Cyrano's story and always drawing attention to his nose. And Cyrano is getting so angry, but he keeps withholding. He's not, letting himself take it out on Christian because he's promised Roxanne he's going to take care of him. And then Christian thinks he's going to get the beating of his lifetime when Cyrano sends everybody out of the room because he's finally lost it. And he embraces Christian and tells him he loves him and that he is Roxanne's friend and cousin.
You're
Oh,
right.
and
That
speaking of,
scene.
but that scene is not in the
Mm-mm.
2021 adaptation with Peter Dinklage. And, we could have done this with jokes about a little person, and I
Mhm.
don't know why that was left out.
They
We do
did.
still
They
get the
he was
scene with we still get the scene where Cyrano kills Dagish's friend
Yes, yes.
in the duel, and, we have all that wordplay where he uses instead of talking about a large nose, he talks about being short in stature and uses all those jokes
Mhm,
and that wordplay and the self-effacing humor, but we don't get that
mhm.
scene with Christian.
And Peter Dinklage was not nominated because I was really
Wow.
disappointed. Yeah. It was only nominated for 1, I think it was costumes.
That's
Okay, so
wild because
Roxanne in that
Mhm. She's my favorite,
Roxanne,
Roxanne.
she just she glowed. There was
Mhm.
something about her.
It was more than just her pure looks.
Yeah.
There was
She really stood out. I mean,
Mhm.
she was lovely. Her
Yes.
dresses were so
Lovely is a great
flowy.
word.
It was almost like she was angelic. There was a glow
Mm.
about her. It was just she was really just a neat Roxanne to watch.
I
And
love her as Roxanne.
I loved her relationship with Cyrano. I thought they had a
Mhm.
beautiful relationship.
And they
And
made them not cousins, they made them childhood friends and
yes,
friends alone,
yes.
but very good friends. I believed the friendship, whereas I really had a hard time buying
Yeah,
into it with the other ones.
really
But with
believed
this one,
it.
yes, I really believed the friendship was there, but they weren't cousins. They didn't include that detail, which I thought was
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, but it was a really good adaptation. What did you think about the musical version?
Well, I like it more than you. You knew that, like, my husband and my oldest son, they took me to see it, and I bawled my eyes out for probably the entire movie. But, Cyrano's my favorite play, So I have a different relationship with it than you do. I personally love the songs. I like that they're repetitive. Like if I think about it, I will get it in stuck in my head. I love the direction of Joe Wright. Joe Wright's a great director. His goal as a director, from what I've heard, allegedly, is that he attempts to make every frame so that if you were to pause the movie at any point, each frame would be a work of art in its own right. He directed the Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley and Matthew
Mm.
McFadden. He directed The Duchess. He directed Atonement.
Did he direct Anna?
He directed Anna
Karenina?
Karenina.
Uh-huh.
So he has done some beautiful films. And there's something, now that I've seen several of his films, there's something I've noticed that he likes to do that's actually kind of funny now that I've noticed it. He likes to take his main actress, his leading lady, and he likes to have her look at the camera dead on. Okay, so she's staring, and usually it's very melancholic. So she's not happy, she's contemplative. She's thinking really hard about something, or she's in crisis of some sort, but she's not moving. She's staring toward the camera, and there are things happening behind her, but she's not acknowledging it. And people could be talking to her, and she'll respond, but she won't look at them. She's just staring. And I've noticed he does this in Anna Karenina, he does this in Pride and Prejudice, he does this in Cyrano, where in Anna Karenina, we have Anna staring in a mirror and she stays like that for way too long. We have him in Pride and Prejudice as Lizzie, where she's again, I believe, staring in a mirror for way too long. And we see her from, straight on like a camera. We see Darcy come in and out. We see day go to night and she is just staring. And then we had Roxanne in Cyrano just staring toward the camera, and there are things
And there's
happening behind her, and she's just
Mhm.
responding because this is what she's been directed to do. And it does, I mean, I see why he does it. I think it's very interesting, but when I see it done over and over, it just kind of makes it comical.
There's stage directors who like to create a masterpiece on stage. I did The Merchant of Venice in college, and our director, he liked creating beautiful scenes. And I had one, and it may not be
Mm.
beautiful to do for the actors, but I was Jessica, and her love interest was Lorenzo, and we had this huge staircase that came down. He had us lounging on this staircase, and of course, I'm in this period piece dress, and so it is flowing over down the stairs. We're in the middle of the stairs, and my dress is flowing down, and we are saying lines from that position. Not
And it
comfortable at all,
sounds
but it
sounds
was
gorgeous.
it's beautiful, and I have a picture of it. It ended up a full
Mhm.
page in the yearbook because it was a
And it's a beautiful
stunning.
picture.
And so, shout out to Jake Barrow, who is my Lorenzo. And yeah, it was a beautiful picture. And so, it is nice when directors will take that time to create a masterpiece,
Mhm.
something that is just so aesthetically beautiful to look
Yeah.
at on the screen
Yeah.
or stage. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be realistic.
Mm.
It can be stylized, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things I like about Joe Wright's work, is it's just
Mhm.
beautiful to look at.
Mm.
We'll get to Pride and Prejudice. Well, that'll be an episode all in itself. His version of Pride and Prejudice is not my favorite. Not my favorite. It's beautiful. It's visually pleasing because it has Keira Knightley. It's
And
hard to do
Matthew.
anything, and Matthew McFadden. It's hard to do anything with Keira Knightley and not have it be visually pleasing. Yeah. But I like that he used the swordplay as sort of a dance, like when he has all the soldiers
Yes.
practicing their sword work, and it was like a dance. I I thought the colorization was beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful, and I
It
think,
was
if
beautiful.
I remember right, at the very end, they don't after Christian dies at the front, and now Roxanne is going to the Abbey, she's living at the Abbey. I think it's only been, like, what, a year? 5 years? It
Oh,
hasn't
it
been a
wasn't as long. You're
decade.
right.
It
You're
wasn't
right,
as
it
long
was
at
not.
all. I don't know why, but
Mm-mm,
does it really matter to me? Not really.
mm-mm.
Although, if you think about Cyrano's commitment to showing up every single week
For 15
to give her
years.
the weekly report, it does make a difference there, but the level of commitment is nonetheless, it's still there, but that
Mhm.
move ugh, him dying in the snow and her lying down beside him and them singing that song together at the very end kills me. And I
Beautiful
know, like, you're not
picture.
a big fan of the songs, but it just Joe Wright tries to get an emotional reaction from his audience. He pulls every trick he can think of to do it, and it works on me
Mhm.
every time. I fall for the Darcy hand flex. I do like him walking through the mist with his
Me
shirt
too.
unbuttoned. Like, I'm sorry, that's unrealistic, but do I like it? Yes. Okay, I fall
Yeah.
for it. Do I need it to be realistic? No. Joe Wright is very good at that. And of course he's good at it in Atonement.
Oh
Gosh, that movie
gosh. Yeah.
destroyed me.
Yes. And the book.
So I'm really glad he did not choose Keira Knightley for Roxanne. I adore Keira Knightley, but Haley Bennett needed to be seen on film in this way.
It
She's
was very good.
interesting to look
She
at.
did a really good
She's
job.
not,
Yes.
yeah, she's not
Your
your
typical.
traditional beauty. Yeah, but I loved her in
Yeah.
this movie. And I will say, her scene with De Guiche, as I was mentioning before, the scene
Mhm.
between
Mm.
Roxanne and De Guiche was comparable to the one that I love from 1990. Their
I
scene
think so
together is so
too.
good.
You could
And I
see
need to
the
shout
wheel
out De Guiche's actor.
you could see the wheels turning.
Mhm. De Guiche, I know this actor, that's why I wanna Ben Mendelsohn. I think he's Australian?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He is. He's Australian, and okay, I know he's been in so many things, including Rogue One and Ready Player One and The Dark Knight. What? He's been in a lot, but the only thing I can think of that I remember him from other than Cyrano is Captain Marvel. He plays an alien. Anyway, he nails it as De Guiche.
Mhm. It's
Okay.
good.
Now, can I just throw out like really one random mention that I have?
Oh, absolutely.
1950 version of all the screen adaptations that we have.
Mhm.
1950 is the only one that does real credit to Lebray, Cyrano's friend in the regiment, and
Mm.
I think his commanding officer. I'm not positive about that though, but Lebray.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah.
1950 version is the only one that actually had him as a solid character that stays with Cyrano
Mhm.
throughout, gives him solid advice, and recognizes
Mhm.
Cyrano for the qualities that he has, which is who that character is in the play, the original
Right.
work by Edmund Rostand. So
It's that's almost like that's who Shelley Duvall's character is in
you're
Roxanne.
right. Yes.
She's almost
Yeah.
like LeBray.
She's Lebray. But we don't see that in 1990. We don't see that in
No.
2021. He's in the 1990 version,
Isn't
but
that
he
interesting?
he doesn't
Yeah.
have that he doesn't
Mhm.
have that role, that rich role.
Right.
So,
Hmm. Yeah.
which screen adaptation did you enjoy the most?
I can't believe it. I think I like Jose Ferrer's.
It's wow, it's so good. It really impressed me.
It was very good. Well, I didn't have to read subtitles. I don't mind reading them, and I know that the French one is incredible. It was truly incredible. But I really did enjoy 1951. It was very good. And
It
and
really surprised me.
and Gerard Depardieu, he was nominated for the Academy Award for that, and I think he was the first actor to be nominated for that for a foreign film.
Uh, I think it's the first foreign no, wait.
The actor for
Part
a
of me
foreign
I yeah,
film.
but also I think it's the first foreign film that won Best Picture, but maybe I'm thinking but I thought Parasite was the first one to win. Hold on,
Oh, I
let me
thought
look.
Life was beautiful.
Oh, Life is Beautiful. Hold on, let me
Life is
look. No, it just won for Best Costume Design. It was
right, it did
nominated for Best Actor, you're right.
yeah, he was
Dang.
nominated. I think he was nominated for it, and he's gotten the first nomination for Best Actor from a foreign film.
Well, it's gorgeous.
It is.
So Life is Beautiful won Best Foreign Language Film in
Yes.
Italy, but oh no, it won Best Foreign Language Film
Yeah, it is in
For the
Italian.
Oscar, but it did
Yeah.
not win for Best Picture. It was nominated.
Okay, it did not win.
Parasite. Parasite is the
Okay.
first I remember that. Parasite is the first foreign language film to win Best Picture.
Wow. So what about you? Which is your favorite version?
So seeing the 1951, seeing the Jose Ferrer version blew my mind. It was amazing. It's gosh, we have to me, 3 incredible adaptations of Cyrano, and that does not include Roxanne. Honestly, Cyrano de Bergerac from France with Gérard Depardieu is my favorite. And I've seen it
Oh.
multiple times, and I love it
Mhm.
every time. But I still love watching Cyrano with Peter Dinklage. I think it's beautiful. I like the songs. I love the idea of taking away the nose and adding, and turning it into an
Yes.
issue of physical stature, making it a little person rather than someone with a big nose. I think it makes more sense, actually, his insecurity, but at the same time, you still have this incredible character who has it all. He's
Mhm.
wonderful. And I will say, and I loved the Jose, yeah, I love the Jose Ferrer one. It was wonderful. But for as far as like, I like the Christian in the 1990 version. I love the Cyrano and I love the Roxanne. I think they're all great. And that makes a big difference to me. Plus, I love
Yeah.
DeGuiche. But my favorite Christian is in Cyrano from 2021. I think he has the best character too. And I do think he's more than just looks, but he doesn't know what to do with it. And I think he wants to love Roxanne for more. He just doesn't know how. I think that
Right.
is more believable than him just being beautiful and shallow.
Yeah.
So he's my favorite Christian.
Would you ever want to play Roxanne?
No, I would want to play
I
Libre.
played I played Roxanne with a lot of theater people when they were taking directing classes, and so I had to do a scene, and I was Roxanne, and we did the iconic balcony scene, and, but, yeah, no, I would never want to be her. She's okay.
I think I
There are
called her
better
milk
parts.
toast earlier. Like when I
It's
called you on the phone,
Cyrano!
I called her milk
Yeah,
toast.
it's Cyrano's show.
It is Cyrano's show. And I was going to ask you, which character would you want to play? Now, my answer comes with a caveat. I wouldn't want to be Libre in just like any adaptation. I want to be Libre in the stage version that you and I saw.
So
Yes! Mine's back here.
we went to see Cyrano. This is adapted by Michael Hollinger and Aaron Posner, and we went to the Topeka Civic Theater in Topeka, Kansas, and it's the first time I've seen it on stage, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it truly wasn't until the play, even reading it, you don't fully understand. It wasn't until I saw him on stage that I went, he has so many lines. Because as an actress, you watch and you just go, oh my gosh, he has
Mhm.
memorized a book. Truly,
And
so
you,
many lines.
yeah, you have your playbill available. I can get mine if I need to, but can you tell me the actor's name who plays
Yes,
Cyrano because he
Devin
deserves credit?
Garcia.
Devin
Devin Garcia
Garcia.
played Cyrano.
Oh, I looked at
And
his bio. He's literally every leading man. That's who
oh,
he
yeah.
is. He's a leading man.
Yeah. I mean, it was very, very good. Just thoroughly enjoyed it. And I hope that this is an updated playbill. So when we watched this, you told me about it. I went to the very last showing of this
Yeah, I'll have
when
to
you
tell
had
my
gone
version.
yeah, the weekend. You tell your version and then I can tell mine.
Yeah, so my husband and I went to go see Cyrano de Bergerac at the Topeka Civic Theater. And I don't remember if we went to the first show, but we went to I think the first weekend.
Mhm.
And the director came out. So if you've never been to a community theater. You might not have ever seen this before, but at community theater shows, it's typical for the director to come out on stage at every performance and introduce the show. And at this production, the director came out, introduced the show. And who was the director? Could you tell me, Mom?
Yeah, I'll get there. Shannon Riley. Shannon
Shannon
Riley.
Riley. So Shannon Riley comes out and he introduces the show, but he also lets us know, hey folks, so our Roxanne, she was wonderful. She'd worked very hard, but unfortunately, there are circumstances outside her control that prevent her from doing the show. And I'm sitting there thinking, crap, oh crap, oh crap. What does this mean? He said, so we have found a replacement. He said, we've looked near and far for someone who could do this last minute and have to memorize a leading lady's worth of lines and stage direction in 2 days, basically.
Mhm.
And he said, turns out I only had to look on the other side of the bed. It was his wife. So the director's wife, and I cannot remember her name, and I hate that. I wish I could
And
give her credit.
I don't think this is her.
Yeah, it's not
And
in the playbill.
and so I hate that.
I know. I wish I could give her credit
So
because
Shannon
my husband and
Riley's
I,
live.
At this production, Ray and I were so blown away because the director warned us. He said, so our Roxanne at certain times is going to still have her book with her on stage. She was going to have her script in hand because she didn't have the whole show memorized. My husband and I had a difficult time identifying when she actually had her book with her because that's how well she hit it. That's how well she did flying by the seat of her pants, honestly. She didn't have her book with her for the think almost the entire first act, which is really impressive in and of itself. And then I started noticing it. She had it like hidden with some letters that she's reading. She had it with her in other letters that she's giving away to soldiers. And then I think she did have it just openly more towards the end of the show. But honestly, it didn't matter. She nailed it. Now I do have a question. Was your Roxanne, same actress, was she wearing glasses when you saw it? I think she needs glasses to read.
So when I saw it closing night. So you saw it when it started. I saw the very last show, and the director came out, and apparently at this theater, I've never had this at a theater where I've performed, but at this theater, they all vote for who the volunteer of the production was, who did the most and all this stuff. She won. She comes
Mm.
out before the show begins. She's in costume as Roxanne, and they present her with this award for being a wonderful volunteer. And when I saw her, she was never on book. She was off book the entire time. No, she was not wearing glasses. And she
Really
did.
impressive.
Oh yeah, she did an amazing job. Just
It's really
wonderful.
impressive because you think about the time that we get as actors because we've done theater and you've had to put together a show in a few days, an entire
Yes.
show, and
Yep.
I've had months to put a show together. And it
Mhm.
takes time. It takes real dedication to learn that amount of lines. And
Yes.
I was so impressed with her.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
because not only was she getting the lines out, she was giving a performance. She was
Yeah.
really performing. And that's
Yeah.
so hard when you didn't have the time to build chemistry with characters. You weren't there to learn all the direction with everybody. She was having to do this all like a swing actor on Broadway when that's not
Yeah.
really something that community theaters can provide.
No.
Really
No.
impressive.
And it's even different from a swing. A swing is ready. They're ready to
Yeah.
go on. They know their
But that's
lines.
just it.
They
It's like
know the
she was
line.
like that's how
Oh,
she had to
yeah.
just go out in 2 days. She had to have this ready to
Yes.
go. It's
And
crazy.
so they did that was just phenomenal, and, but yeah, a great cast.
Mhm.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. One of my favorite scenes was when, Cyrano is battling the 100 men and the sword fighting and how they staged it. It was a very minimalistic stage, and I did
Mhm.
take a picture of it. So,
And it was a very small cast.
very small, and so a lot of
Mhm.
doubling up with
Mhm.
the characters and stuff, which it works fine. That just works it works fine. Even Christian was another character at one point. Is that right? I think so, yeah.
I think,
So
that just goes to show where, like, the creativity of lights and music on stage can make for a completely different production that film can't
right.
give you. Where,
No,
like,
okay,
how would you film a scene?
Christian was not another
I didn't
actor,
remember that.
another
Yeah. I
character.
didn't remember him playing
Dickie
another character.
was, Regano, all
Mhm.
everybody else. Yeah, LeBray was not, Cyrano.
I loved Ragano. Hold on.
Yes.
Let me look at something real quick because I'm pretty sure you and I saw Ragano in oh, I don't have it. You have my playbill. Never mind. I'm pretty sure we saw
Ragano,
Ragano in The Play That Goes Wrong.
he's the
Wait, no, I do
baker.
have it. I just don't think I have it right here with me.
I don't have mine right here. He's the baker.
Okay. Yes,
Is
he
that
was
right?
Ragano, but I'm pretty sure he was in The Show That Goes Wrong.
The baker's adorable.
I
I
love him.
he was one of my favorite characters. So shout out to Dylan Hart. Wow. He was one of my favorite characters in that one. He was just wonderful. I
He
loved
was
him.
great.
My favorite scene was the fighting of the 100, and you had LeBray, and he's drunk, and he's counting
No, that's
off.
not LeBray. That's not LeBray.
Let's change
Nope.
that. Who's
Nope, nope,
drunk in the
nope.
middle?
This is a character that they didn't have in any other adaptation that we saw. They actually have him from the
The middle.
original play.
Okay. So they have a character and he is
Hold
drunk
on.
and he's not
Okay, hold on. I have it.
okay.
I'm looking at the play. Oh, here we go.
Maybe it's Lignier
It
because
is. It's Linier.
Lignier because he's the
Mhm.
only one that doesn't have fighter next to his
Yep.
name.
It's
Okay,
Linier.
so
Linier the poet. He's
there's a
the drunk.
character named Lignier, and he is sitting there drunk, not helping Cyrano fight at all, and he's counting as all of these people come along to battle Cyrano, and he goes, "Whoa, one!" He's back there drinking, and Cyrano, battle, 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 and they turn the lights low, and you hear it, and it comes up, it goes, 15, and it
Mhm.
goes all the way to 100. And I thought they did
100.
such a wonderful job with that. It was
I
very
l
exciting. The
Yeah,
sword play on stage was so good. They did an excellent job with that.
I agree. I loved that scene. It was so much fun, and it was more entertaining to watch on stage than it would have been in a film
Definitely,
with the way they did
by
it.
far.
And
Mhm,
I like that they had Linier. We never got to see Linier in other adaptations. He
mhm.
was in They did have him in the 1990 version. He doesn't stand out as much. He was so comical on stage. And the
Oh,
actor who played
yes.
him was great. He was hilarious.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
having him use the lantern, because he was the
Mhm.
lantern carrier for that scene, it was so good.
Yeah,
But
it
they
was.
actually had Cyrano kill 100 men, which doesn't actually happen. In
Mhm.
the original play, he's actually surrounded by actors and actresses who are so excited to witness him battle a bunch of people, and he's got a whole band with him. There are a bunch of musicians following him. It's basically a parade as he goes
Yes.
out to confront these men, and ends up killing 8. And even then, he downplays it because they're telling the story the next day, and they're like, "We heard you killed 8 men," and he went, I thought it was 7. But I like that they actually had this scene where he kills 100 men. It was so entertaining to watch, and,
Oh,
it just
it
went
was
to show
loved it.
Cyrano could do what he wanted. Again, the hopefulness he had that Roxanne would love him led him to be able to do that. I loved it. It
Yeah.
was so entertaining, and the actor who played Cyrano, incredible.
Wow. I
He was
mean,
so good. Ragano,
well,
I loved Ragano, and Ragano is
me
lovable in any adaptation. Ragano the baker, who is one of Cyrano's friends, we haven't really talked
but
much about
that
him, but he's a great
stage
character.
version, I loved him. He was one of my favorites.
He stood out.
Mhm.
Mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
he did. Very
And,
much so.
Roxanne stood out to me, not necessarily because her character was written a way that made her memorable, but because the actress herself and what she managed to accomplish. Knowing what I know about memorizing lines, I was so impressed with her and that she was able to pull that off.
Mhm.
Christian, he was good. He was Christian. He's what you need from a
Yeah.
Christian. That's really all I can say about it. And that's not on him.
He
It's just
oftentimes
he's Christian.
he had a very blank face at times. It's hard to look vapid, and he did a very good job.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed seeing that, and I came away with the same thought that you did, which is how do you memorize that many lines that Cyrano had, that many monologues in one show? Holy
And
cow.
that's
It
why
was
it's
really
called
good.
Cyrano.
Yeah, I loved it. So, which character would you want to play in an adaptation of Cyrano de Bergerac?
I'll
If you
just
could play
watch.
anybody. Really? You wouldn't want to play anyone in this show?
Hey, I'd do Ragueneau.
Ragano was fun.
I'd be a
Now,
baker.
honestly, I don't think I'd wanna play anybody unless it was LeBray in the stage adaptation that we saw.
Mm.
I really liked him,
Yeah.
and he was good in the 1950 movie, but
Mhm.
anyway. So let's change direction. So you have a lot more stage experience than I do, and I can't say that I've ever had an experience that I can remember like this, but have you ever had an experience where someone in your show couldn't be there and you had to scramble to find a replacement?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, I can think of, it wasn't my show though, but do you remember one of the characters dropped out in Sister Act? One of the male characters, they had to scramble to find somebody to play him.
Yep.
Um, and
It
I
was,
mean,
like her ex-boyfriend.
yeah, so it does happen, but
Mhm.
I don't know if it was a scramble, but I did South Pacific, and the guy who was playing Lieutenant Joe, he dropped out, and they had to find somebody else to play him, but that was decades ago, but that's the only one I can think of that's
Yeah, the
happened.
only thing I can think of, and wasn't a scramble at all, this was done at a leisurely pace, but it was the
Mhm.
actor who was playing Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird
Oh,
dropped out, and it was
yes!
very early on in rehearsals, so it wasn't a big deal, and they ended up having your husband, my father, come in and play Boo Radley.
So To Kill a Mockingbird, for those who don't get Boo Radley, yes, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yep.
And
To Kill a
Victoria was
Mockingbird.
Scout. You were
I was
8 or
Scout, so
9?
I got to do that scene with my daddy.
Yeah.
'Cause
How old
we
were you? 8
literally
or 9?
Boo Radley has, like, 1 scene, and that was
Oh, but
with me.
he has a major scene.
Yeah, so he has, like, 2 scenes depending on the adaptation you do.
Well, save it for the podcast.
Save it for the podcast. We'll save it for
We'll
when we
talk
do that one,
about
'cause we
Yeah.
can do To Kill a Mockingbird. So, there have been a lot of parodies of Cyrano de Bergerac, right? We see this where you've got I think you mentioned this. There are we'll have an actor under a balcony whispering to another actor who's giving him all the words to say to someone who's listening, right? And that's a parody of Cyrano de Bergerac. My favorite version of this is in The Brady Bunch in the episode titled
Hands
Cyrano de
down,
Brady. It is one of my all-time favorite Cyrano de Bergerac. It's one of my all-time favorite Brady Bunch
Brady Bunch.
episodes. I love it. So in this version, you have I don't remember the character's name, but you have the actress playing her is Gretel from The Sound of Music. Little baby Gretel is grown up and she's in the Brady Bunch. And Peter, the middle Brady boy, is in love with her. But he has no confidence. And she has a crush on Greg, the oldest Brady boy. Can't blame her. I get it. And so Peter and Greg come up with this plan, this convoluted plan because they've been reading Cyrano de Bergerac. They've been studying it in school. He's like, "We'll do Cyrano de Bergerac." He's like, "You give me the words to say and I'll say them." And so Greg and Peter try it and it goes horribly wrong. There are hijinks and we've got Marcia in a wig pretending to be Greg's ex-girlfriend. Like it's just so crazy and I love it. I love every second of it. I love that episode.
The Brady Bunch is so underrated for those, who didn't grow up with it. Oh, that one is classic.
It's so good.
I think that Peter Brady has some of the best episodes of the entire show, the
He
ones that
does.
focus on him. I
He
don't know
does, but
why that
honestly, I love that episode for Greg because Greg acts so out of
uh,
character in that episode. It's so funny.
it is great. So, so good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
love
yeah,
it.
we
So
definitely needed
there
to
are
talk about
other
that.
like yeah, there are other, variations of that you see in pop culture, but that is my favorite on the nose Cyrano de Bergerac callback, where the whole
By
Brady Bunch
far.
episode is focused on Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yes. So
I
funny.
love it.
It is definitely worth a mention.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I have a gift for you.
Okay.
I got
I
it.
may have to put my
It's for Cyrano.
Oh,
So I
okay.
was on Etsy and there's an artist who did I think they're these watercolor bookmarks of Cyrano
Look.
Museum
Oh, it's
and Roxanne.
beautiful. They're
And I
beautiful.
was I was gonna keep one for myself and give you one, and I stared at them, and I thought, well, I have to give mom Cyrano, so I'm stuck with Roxanne. But I really want Cyrano, but I can't just give mom Roxanne, so I just got you your own. So I have yours.
I love them. Those are
You're
gorgeous.
welcome. I love them too. So to shout it out,
Very
it's
pretty.
Some Little Good on Etsy. That's the shop name.
Oh,
And
some
they're
little
beautiful, and
good.
she gave me a free gift. Let me pick it up. I got a free
Okay.
shop gift. It's this little watercolor print that says "The Bluebird Carries the Sky on His Back" by Henry David Thoreau,
Oh, look
and I
how
don't know if you can see it,
pretty. That
but
is so
there you go.
pretty. Yeah.
I know, I love
Wow.
it. So I got that as a
That
little
is
gift.
beautiful.
Some Little
I
Good
don't have
on
anything
Etsy.
fancy like that. So, a couple weeks ago, I went to see Dolly, and it's called Dolly, a true original musical. So I have my shirt, Dolly. But
Nice.
she has written a musical about her life, and it is in previews. And so the previews are currently in Nashville, Tennessee. She wanted them to be done there because that is where she got her start. And so they're tweaking and making changes based on, feedback they get, audience reaction and that kind of thing. It may be over now, but
Mhm.
that is what I did a couple weeks ago. And I'm trying to get magnets at Broadway shows, but they're very hard to find. But Dolly had one. And so I had a little
Aw,
Dolly magnet to add
that's
to my
awesome.
collection.
That's
Yeah,
great.
not many people do magnets, so but it was neat. But it will be going to Broadway. I expect it to do really well. I think if Carole King can do well and Michael Jackson can do well,
And
I
share.
definitely think Dolly is gonna do well. It was good. And the
That's
people playing
exciting.
Dolly, there were 3.
That's
The
so cool.
oldest one, it was just like, "This is so weird. I'm hearing Dolly, but she looks different. It's not Dolly, her face, but she sounded just like Dolly Parton." It was really
That's
neat.
awesome. That's
Yes.
really cool. I
Yeah.
hope I'll get to see that one day. We'll see. Okay. Well, this was fun. Thanks for doing Cyrano with me.
Okay.
And if you want to find us on social media, we don't have an Instagram yet. This is going to be on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, you're already watching us. But
And we will put links.
our individual social media links are at, let's see, I'm on Instagram at vdspringer.author. Mom, do you want to share your Instagram or do you want to keep it to yourself?
Um, do you know what mine is called?
Yup.
Okay, so I put this here purposefully. Please be patient with me. I'm from the 1900s.
I
So
have yours too.
okay, what's mine?
Yours is lauradawson.author.
Very good.
Also, don't
No,
forget, I'm from the 1900s as well.
I know you're from the late 1900s though.
So lauradawson.author to find you. And now, why do you have author in your name? And why do I have author in my username,
I
Mom?
was gonna ask you the same thing. So,
Oh,
I am an
well, I'm trying
aspiring.
to write a book
Yeah.
and it's going really slowly.
Me too. I need
I'm
I
writing a
need
book with a working title called The Corner of Her Eye, and I'm in love with this story. I love the characters, and the more I think about the book, the more convinced I am that it's a story that needs to be told. And currently, I'll tell you my update. I have a pretty solid word count. My goal is to get to at least 80,000. I can't tell you my word count off the top of my head. I'm not there. I'm not even halfway there, but I have a solid word count of, I think, about 20,000 words. But I am currently in a course on perinatal issues in mothers as part of my work as a therapist. I want to work more with a population of pregnant mothers, postpartum mothers, mothers experiencing loss, and women with infertility issues. And this course is all a part of that. And I've been aware of postpartum psychosis for several years now, but the more I learn about it and the more prevalent I see it's been in our society, the more I want to write about it. And I realized that writing this book, it started out as a love story between a mother and her daughter, because that's what I was experiencing at the time when I first started writing it. I had a brand new baby girl, and that's the story that started coming out. And as I developed the story, it's now become this thing where I recognize it's a story about postpartum psychosis, which
Hmm.
is not something that I experienced, but I have clients who have experienced it. And this story doesn't get told. And I'm absolutely in love with it. The more work I do on it, the more I love it. And I hope other people will love it eventually too.
I think it has started off very well with the bang.
Thank
I'm
you.
very excited to read more, so I've read some of it. I
Yay, thank
am currently writing as well, and, so we are aspiring authors. My word count is not as high as yours. Mine has ended up being I had no idea it would end up being this. I think it's gonna end up being some historical fiction because whenever Victoria would ask, how's your book going? What are you working on?" "Oh, I'm researching." And then one day you went, "Mom, you're writing historical fiction." "No, I'm not." "What are you always doing?" "Researching." I have
Yep.
found some really interesting things. I cannot wait for other people to learn about things I did not know about. And so it's starting in the 60s and it will run through the 80s the 1960s to the 80s. And I'm very
Mhm.
excited about that. And I wasn't born until the 70s. So it's before my time. So I am having to do some research. But I'm enjoying it, and I think hopefully it's gonna be good. I guess we'll see.
You keep your cards closer to your chest than I do about what you're writing. I know a little bit more than what you're telling, and it is something I can't wait to read. It's so much more than what you're describing right now. It's going to
I haven't
be,
even described anything.
no, you really haven't. It's going to be a gorgeous,
Oh.
heartfelt story. It's going to be heart wrenching. Yeah. And I can't tell your story for you, so I'm not going to give anything away, but it's so much more than what you've described.
I definitely hold my cards. You've only read the very first page.
I've read literally one page, and it's not fair, woman. I have given you whole chapters of my book.
I guess I read them and I go, gosh, I don't even know if it's good enough to share.
And mine is, gosh, I read mine
Yes.
and I go, oh, that's cringy, but I send it anyway.
Maybe as I write a little bit more, I will get a little more confidence. Okay, so
Your
that is what
first
I need to
page was
do.
incredible. I read it going, this is the start of a fully formed novel. That's not fair. This
My
isn't a
first
first
page.
draft.
Well, it's the first page only, so there you go. My first page has a
Well,
quote from Kennedy, president. Oh, he wasn't even president then. From JFK. So there you go. How can it go wrong?
well, we brought this up because what's one of our goals with this podcast, Mom?
We want to encourage each other to continue writing our books. And by spilling it out here, say, look, we're writing, maybe have a little accountability and push us to get in there and to continue to work on our books.
Yeah. When I first started, my goal was to write 1,000 words a day, and that was very manageable when I first started writing the book. I've had another baby since then, and I'm working double the amount of hours. That means I'm seeing double the amount of clients I was seeing before. 1,000 words is, and I moved, and I'm still in the process of getting this house where I want it to be. There's just a lot going on, and 1,000 words isn't manageable for me anymore every day. So now my goal is 100 words. And what I
Yeah.
found is that I can actually, once I start writing and my goal, knowing in my head it's 100 words, I get easily to 500, 600, 700 words. And I know that I've hit my goal and I can stop. And I don't feel bad that I didn't reach 1,000. I actually feel great because I did more than 100. And even if all I get is 101 words, I'm happy with myself because I met my goal for the day.
I do not have the same excuse you do. My husband is deployed and I'm by myself. Now, I was in Kansas with you for several months, January to like June, and I did 2 plays while I was there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us in our conversation about Cyrano de Bergerac. Please remember to join us next time and follow us on social media. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell for our YouTube channel. And if you want to engage with us in the comments, please do. We want to know what your favorite parts of Cyrano de Bergerac are. What's your favorite adaptation? And what do you want to see us talk about in the future? Remember, we talk books that have been adapted to both screen adaptations and stage. So we do both.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments what your recommendations are and what your thoughts are on Cyrano. And we will see you next time when we
Watch
books. Bye.
more books.